Solicitors report.
We have a number of ordinances and resolutions of a legislative nature to review. They've been duly advertised. I believe, Marcia, you have confirmation from the newspaper. They were also posted with the Bucks County Law Library. So we do need to have public hearings this evening on these matters. With the President's permission, what I would propose is I can introduce each matter, and then the proponent of it can make a statement, and then, or if we get a motion in a second, then the proponent of that ordinance can make a statement and then open it to discussion. I think that might be the most expedient way of going through it. The first item, I'm going to go a little bit out of order of what's on the agenda. The first item is concerning the fee paid to the tax collector for tax certifications. There are two items on this. There's an ordinance and I'll do them one at a time. The first is an ordinance to amend Article 4 of Chapter 139 of the Code of the Borough of Newtown entitled Tax Certifications by increasing the fee to be paid to the tax collector for tax certifications from $25 to $35 per tax certification. Part and parcel of this is also resolution that will amend the 2009, which is the current fee schedule, to increase the fee to be paid to the tax collector for tax certifications from $20, there is an inconsistency of what's in the ordinance and what's on the fee schedule, to $35. So I'll start with the ordinance. Okay. There we go. Motion to adopt ordinance number 701, amending Article 4, Chapter 139 of the Code of the Borough of Newtown, increasing the fee to be paid to the tax collector for tax certifications from $25 to $35. If I can get that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. And I believe are we open for discussion? Thank you. I believe our tax collector, Judy Musto, is here. I know you've discussed this several times before, but this is a public hearing, so if you can maybe present some information.
Judy Musto, tax collector. I don't know what else I need to say on this. I happened to be here. I just wanted to hear the decision. I didn't know that you wanted me to come forth again. So.
If council is satisfied with previous information that's been provided, then we can just open it to discussion.
Then we'll discussion among council first. Okay. Anyone on council wish to speak to this ordinance?
Judy Musto, tax collector. I don't know what else I need to say on this. I happened to be here. I just wanted to hear the decision. I didn't know that you wanted me to come forth again. So.
If council is satisfied with previous information that's been provided, then we can just open it to discussion.
Then we'll discussion among council first. Okay. Anyone on council wish to speak to this ordinance?
Judy Musto, tax collector. I don't know what else I need to say on this. I happened to be here. I just wanted to hear the decision. I didn't know that you wanted me to come forth again. So.
If council is satisfied with previous information that's been provided, then we can just open it to discussion.
Then we'll discussion among council first. Okay. Anyone on council wish to speak to this ordinance?
Of about 15,000, so I'm not sure what, 750 an hour, so about 15.6. And I just kind of figured if you work an average of 10 hours a week, based on the income that you said you earned from the position last year, that would be about $40 an hour. But that's gross pay. Yeah. And at 20 hours a week, it would be about $20 an hour. Okay. And I think given what we pay for other services, for the police, the secretary, the solicitor, the engineer for the services that are performed. I think, assuming that the time commitment is in that range, I'm comfortable with the
Yeah,
I'm
you know,
comfortable with the request.
there are a lot of different aspects of my position as a tax collector that just don't meet the eye. I'll give you an example of something on my plate right now. The per capita and occupation tax bills that I issue, okay? I just looked at my unpaids from '09, which as I was telling you guys in work session, I collect the per capita and occupation bills from July 1 of one year through July 30th of the following year. The school district doesn't cut that off at the end of December like the real estate. So just as an example, I just did an unpaid. I just figured that out. I have 300 occupation per capita tax bills that are unpaid right now. And it's expected of me to issue final notices. I don't get paid a penny for that. I mean, the school will pay me for the postage, but the work involved and pulling out those bills, and I know I see you got a puzzled look on your face. There's so much that I do that is just completely not even compensated for.
That was the lights.
What's that?
That was the lights that caused the look on my face, not you.
Well, it does raise my eyebrows sometimes, quite frankly, what I committed to without knowing. Yeah, you know, I had said this in work session. I get paid $2.05 per school real estate tax bill. That's what I get. It is a total of $4.5 million in Newtown Borough that I collect in school real estate, and for that, I get $2,000. That's my pay. I'd mentioned a total of $5,000 from the school. Well, that's taking into consideration the $3,000 that I get for issuing the per capita and occupation tax bill. And for that bill and administering that bill, every time there's an addition, a deletion, exoneration, a change, and somebody changes their occupation or what have you, I make those changes in my database. I issue the new tax bill, and with all those changes that I get semi-monthly, I get paid for the additions only. So I get $2.05 for the additions. All the other work is not compensated for. So I will, after revealing all this, I don't think I'll ever find a replacement for me when I choose to leave, although there's another side to that, as Gerard knows. We don't even know the position of tax collector in the state of Pennsylvania is actually somewhat precarious right now. There's some bills out in Harrisburg. So it's all of those things that I do, and you know, that I don't account for. You know, I don't include that in the amount of mental time that I put into this job. As like I've said from the beginning, once I caught wind of what was involved and started, you know, living this job, I would say to my friends, well, I realize now that, yeah, I took a job, and I consider about half of the time that I put forth for this job is compensated for, and about the other half, I feel like I'm volunteering to the community, which I don't really have a problem with at all. But yeah, I just, you're an attorney, so you keep track of your hours, you bill. So for you, that's standard practice, and if I were you, I would be happy to do that. In my shoes, I think that if I were to keep track of all the time that I put in, it's not a lot of money that I'm earning for what I do. And at any rate, I wish I could give you what you wanted, but I just don't. I don't take the time to, you know, figure out how much of my time I'm putting into this. Right now, I can tell you, April, I'm up to here. So, anyhow.